Folks, today on the Stoney Ridge Farm, we're putting this nasty stuff down on the pasture, and hopefully it's gonna make it grow. Woo! Stoney Ridge Farm. Woo! Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. Today we're gonna be having some fun. We're gonna be testing out something new, something I've never used before on the farm, aside from yesterday spraying the field out here in front of the house. We're using a product that's called NutriGraze. This is not a sponsored video. NutriGraze did send this product out to me, but I'm not getting paid to show you this. I'm going to spray stripes down through my pasture with NutriGraze, and we're going to talk about what it is and how it all works and what it's supposed to do. It's a microbial type inoculant to help fix nitrogen to our soil and help to produce overall more forage for our animals, and if you have a crop situation, more crop. So come along today as we talk a little bit about what we're using. It's called NutriGraze, and we're going to be using the TYM 574 and this awesome Ag Spray 90-gallon sprayer. I've got it almost filled with water. We'll show you how it all works. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Stoney Ridge Farm channel. If this is your first time or your 50 millionth time, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you back here with me. We're on a 150-acre first-generation farm project here, and we're trying not to use chemical fertilizers, commercially available type chemical fertilizers. So we're trying to use the animals and the manure to help grow our soil here on the farm. And so far, so good. It's really worked. We brought over 200 tons of biomass to our farm here. However, the grass is still not popping like it would if we hit it with a commercial fertilizer. So what we're doing today is we're going to try something different. Here's the machine that we're using. This is the Ag Spray MC90. Okay, that is ran off the PTO here on the tractor. This is the TYMT 574 tractor. We'll start it up and get it to optimal running temperature, and we'll head on out into the field. These are the spray nozzles, the spray heads, and I've worked out the math on all this. And what I need to do is go about 4 miles an hour with these spray heads at 40 PSI. It's going to be different for every spray rig, so understand your own spray rig and how all that works. The product we're going to be using today is called NutriGraze. NutriGraze is basically 1 pint per acre, according to the instructions right here. And the instructions say apply NutriGraze with 5 to 20 gallons, 1 pint of NutriGraze per acre. So what we're going to be doing, I know at 4 miles an hour with a boom this size on the MC90 that I'm going to cover 3 acres with each tank that we spray. So we're going to spray 3 acres today. We're going to get you some drone footage of the pasture that we're spraying, okay? And then we're going to come back in 2 weeks and we're going to take a look at that pasture. If this stuff works, if it does what it's supposed to do, depending on the soil quality, it should have green stripes right down through the field, okay? So I'm sacrificing one of my fields for this project just to see if it works. And NutriGraze is a liquid foliar application for improved soil health. It stimulates microbial activity, increases plant biomass, and improves forage quality. I have a study here, and I read up on this before I said, hey, yeah, sure, I'll try it out on the farm. I read the study. The study was done in Kansas, and it showed that NutriGraze does work. And it works on pastures, it works on fertilized pastures, and it mixes well in case you are putting down a nitrogen application or a fertilizer application on your property, and in case you're not doing it like me and just letting the cows do all the work. So it mixes well with most anything and everything, and you can put liquid fertilizer in with it. They do say to test that first. So we're just going to go ahead and get busy. I went ahead and put about 3/4 of a tank in here. This is a 90-gallon sprayer, and where we're headed is way over across the farm. You'll see the cows out there grazing or overgrazing an area, and then you'll see where I'm spraying. And where I'm spraying is a spot that really is fairly devoid of nutrient, and we're going to nail it. As soon as we move the cows off of the paddock that they're on right now, I'm going to spray the entire paddock. So that'd be about 6 acres. So it's going to be a lot of running back and forth here on the farm for me today. What you guys need to know and what I need to know is, does NutriGraze work? Does it work? I'll post a link to their website. They're gonna give us a discount code. It's Stoney 10, so you can get 10% off from the NutriGraze site. I'll post a link down the video description for you and a link down here at the bottom of the screen. So let's get busy. Okay, so the instructions say shake well. Pour it in a pint, pour it in there. We're gonna do 3 pints in this 90-gallon waterer, and we're gonna fill the waterer all the way to the top. We're gonna run out here and we're gonna spray. That's just as simple as it needs to be. If you do this and set it up overnight, I recommend you agitate it. In other words, you need an agitator in your sprayer. It will settle to the bottom, evidently, and we don't want it to settle to the bottom because all the nutrient will come out in the first few sprays. This thing bounces around and shakes and stirs itself quite a bit. They say to fill it about halfway and then put in your NutriGraze and then fill it all the way up. So we've got it probably 3/4 of the way full, and we'll go ahead and put in our NutriGraze. Shame on me for not having a disposable mixing or measuring cup. All right, here's what it looks like. It's some nasty looking, weird looking stuff. I'm gonna wash my hands for sure. So, am I worried about putting the cows out on this piece of land right after I spray NutriGraze? The answer is no. Once it's dried on the foliage, I can put my cattle out there, which is pretty cool. It also is recommended that you have at least 4 to 6 inches or so. You can read the information that I post down below here, but I think it's 4 to 6 inches of foliage out there. So not only does this inoculate the soil, but it actually must absorb through the foliage on the plants, on the grasses. And we have what I call a salad bar of grass out here on the Stoney Ridge farm. It's not all one type of grass. There are multiple different species out here, multi-species pasture. Pretty cool stuff. Let's fill her up and get rolling. While that tank's filling up, let's go over here and check on our new baby chicks. We got some American Breast chicks from the Renewed Homestead. I'll post a link to those guys too. It's a new startup hatchery. Hey guys. Hey guys, 75 chicks, guys. And this is day 3 or 4 with our chicks. And no health issues whatsoever. We haven't lost a single chick. This is a very robust breed of chicken. Super happy with that. Looking good in the broodmobile. Uh-oh, overfill, don't overfill. You're MC90. Don't overfill. All the goodies are washing down the hill in the driveway. So as we spray this NutriGraze on our pastures, there's something that you need to know. Your grass needs to have some growth. In other words, you can't spray it on overgrazed winter pastures. You've got to let the grass hit first. I like to say maybe 4 to 5 inches of grass growth because it's a foliar uptake. In other words, it takes it up through the foliage of whatever you're spraying. So NutriGraze is applied to the foliage and to the ground around the plants. It's best to spray this early in the morning when the morning dew is out, or late in the evening, so that it gets more time to uptake it through the leaves or the foliage of whatever plants you're spraying in your pastures. So this little section of pasture, you can tell, is not doing so well. And all I've done is basically unroll hay and let the cows do the work for us. So we're building biomass, but are we fixing enough nitrogen to the soil to make the grass pop? And the answer in this case, in this pasture, is no. This is one of our worst pastures right here. And as we fly over it, you can also see the pasture right beside it that the cows are in has been overgrazed. It's been grazed down probably to about 3.5 to 4 inches. And when I get done with this pasture, I'm gonna do that pasture also. So you can see from the drone footage right here that we're clearly leaving about a 16-foot swath in between each one of these stripes. So you can see also from the drone footage that there is a bit of a dark spot, kind of a wavy dark spot line. There was a hedgerow right there. There was a bunch of trees and stuff, and we dug down and we buried the trees, and that's what you're seeing. So those trees decaying is causing that area to be extra green. Now, according to NutriGraze, the better your pastures are already, the better it performs. So let's just see how it does here on the Stoney Ridge. All right, that's it. We got the field sprayed. We're gonna come back in 2 weeks. Guys, I'm also gonna spray that whole brown area that you saw from the drone shot. That's where the cows have been grazing, and they've overgrazed quite a bit. I'm actually gonna do some stripes right through there too, just to see how it does on pasture that's been grazed really heavily and pasture that hasn't been grazed at all. So stay tuned for the results. All right, for the reveal, guys, I just moved the cows to their next paddock. We're grazing all the way around this pasture. So last time you saw the cows was 2 weeks ago. They were way over here. Now they're directly behind the camera, and we just moved them to their new paddock. Really, this intensive grazing program that I have here is really working well. I'm super happy with it. We need rain really bad. So a testimony to NutriGraze, I'm seeing results even though we've only had one tiny rainstorm, and that was the day after I applied this stuff. Looking out through the field here, I sprayed this section and virtually the entire farm. You'll see it all from the drone footage right now. The entire farm is greener than it was last year. Is that attributed to the cattle and the grazing operation that I have here, or is that attributed to using this microbial inoculant? And this is, again, it's called NutriGraze. There'll be a link down the video description for you guys. I'm not getting paid to show you NutriGraze. I just want you all to know that. This is not a commercial for NutriGraze. This is something that I'm trying, and I want to see if it works for you and if it works for me. And that's the important thing. Is it going to work for either one of our operations, our farms? So out through this section of pasture, and you'll get the drone shot right now, you can still see the tracks where I drove through. It's been really dry. It has not rained. Again, there's a link down the video description. This only cost about $10 per acre versus fertilizing sometimes is upwards of $50, $60, $70, $100 per acre. So it makes a huge difference if you can offset that fertilizer cost, and that's what it's all about, offsetting the fertilizer cost and or adding other chemicals that you might use, chemical fertilizer. If you spray your pastures with any kind of graze-on product or anything like that to control broadleaf, you can mix all this together with the NutriGraze. There is a link down there in the video description. You want to do some research. They did a study in Kansas, and it did show that it produced more forage, more poundage per acre. More poundage per acre means more poundage per acre on the cows, and that's what's super important. Take you guys over and show you. I can tell a difference. I can't tell a difference in the greenness of the grass. In other words, you cannot see a super green, dark green stripe going down through the middle of the pasture. You just can't see it. But what I can see is I sprayed right down through here, and I can see that my grass is coming in thicker and thicker and thicker. This is where there was cow manure or urine, and there's hay, residual hay out here. All this stuff really, it's not just one thing that you've got to do to your pastures. It's multiple things. And the way NutriGraze works, supposedly, is that it inoculates the land with something that stimulates the microbial growth in the soil, which is going to help fix nitrogen, thus lowering your fertilizer bill and producing more forage and producing a better root base in our land. So what I'm seeing here is a lot better grass, less sparsely separated, And what I'm really seeing is wherever I sprayed Nutri-Graze on the land, this inoculant, wherever I sprayed it, wherever the land is good, it makes it way better. Okay, so as I'm flying over, you can look at the drone footage again, you'll see dotted areas of green grass. The better your soil is to start with, the better it's going to do. I do have a fertilizer product that I'm going to put in with the Nutri-Graze, and we'll show you guys that in a future video. Do I think it works? Absolutely. Can I tell a difference? Absolutely. Does it take time to show a difference? Absolutely. So this is not just hitting it with 2800 straight nitrogen fertilizer. This is training your land to heal itself. Guys, thank you so much. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Love to have you back here. We're going to keep trying Nutri-Graze along with some other stuff here on the farm. Again, there'll be a link down in the video description for you. I'm pretty happy. The pasture here looks fantastic. This, I sprayed the entire pasture and it's super green, and the cows are grazing another section of pasture that I also sprayed. Cool. See you guys next time. There'll be links to the Ag Spray 90 down there. There'll be links to Nutri-Graze, any of this stuff that we're using today. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. See you next time on the farm. Woo! Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Ridge Farm, please hit that like button. This your top freaking feature tour. All right, everybody. Oh, my hip. Oh, I'm getting old.
Hi, I'm a camera and I don't want to sit still.
We'll see. Let's fill this crap. Let's fill this crap up. These two geese have been flying over like back and forth every day for the last 2 weeks. I don't know where they're going or what they're doing. Every time I come outside, they're flying over.